فيديو 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 اي فيديو بخلتي كوجي لا اي خلت نقول بعد معك بقى نقول لي
تمام
التنكل من دي هذا خيطن تاعي دي دوا بوقة
تمام نوبل مكي حشوة
زي حشوة لطيقة تاخذ ري بالك
because of the impending rain. When I go to school, I need a bus. And the guy in the yellow shirt's going to give us the yay or nay. So when I go to school, I know it's hot in here. I'm sorry. When I go to school, Mama, I need a bus. So if somebody is they say they're going to take the bus.
لا لا شمال يمي ليه وأما زانا مخني البيثة
chắc cho nhé đây chắc những người thân người ta đưa đi
They're made for to go in bouquets of flowers. She gave us 3. She's like, I don't know, just take them. And then I found 2 more little ones. I'm like, okay.
Candidates who have complied with the requirements of the Citizenship Act. They're ready to take the oath of citizenship and to become Canadian citizens.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Canada Day. On behalf of Her Majesty the Queen, I am pleased to welcome you to your citizenship ceremony. In a few moments, you will be sworn in as Canadian citizens. You will swear or the Queen, which means you are swearing allegiance to Canada and in her person. Donc, quelques minutes, vous deviendrez citoyen canadien. Vous prêterez serment à la reine, ce qui signifie que vous prêtez le serment d'allégeance au Canada en son nom et en sa personne. This is certainly a proud moment for all of you and for me as well. It's a memory that we and our families will always cherish. I wanted to acknowledge, first of all, some people who assisted with our ceremony today, and in particular the Caledonia Canada Day Committee, who is our host for today's event, as we perform this special citizenship ceremony. Also, I wanted to introduce you to our platform party. To my left, I'd like him to stand, please, is Worship Ken Hewitt, Mayor of the Corporation of Haldimand County. Welcome, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Craig Grice, Councillor of the Corporation of Haldimand County. Mr. Tony Alexander, the President of the Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Ken Griffith, our veteran. Mr. Ted Alan Parker, Chair of the Caledonia Canada Festival. Ms. Mary Taylor, Chair of the Caledonia Citizenship Ceremony Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, to my immediate right, Staff Sergeant Carl Butler, the Haldeman OPP Honor Guard. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank our piper, Mr. James Williams, who let us in this morning. I think James has left the room, but we can certainly applaud for him. And we have Mr. Michael Lyons of Royal Canadian Legion Branch 154. The Native Youth Choir, Dwai Nagadas, directed by Mrs. Robin Maricol, will be entertaining us just after the certificate presentation, so we'll look forward to seeing them. And we have with us Miss Allie Howitt, who will be singing our national anthem. She's our vocalist. Joining us today is Miss Teen Ontario, Canada in academics, Hope Schneider, and she is a grade 10 student at Glenview Park Secondary School in Cambridge. She's joining us as well. To the candidates for citizenship, I am happy that you have chosen to become citizens of this wonderful country, and it is a privilege for me to preside at this ceremony today. You are following in the footsteps of generations of great Canadians before you. And you may be aware that our first Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald, came here as an immigrant from Scotland with his family when he was only 5 years old. And they settled in Loyalist country beside Lake Ontario. He worked hard all of his life, and he earned the everlasting gratitude of the Canadian people. And personally, I have been the beneficiary of hardworking parents and grandparents who came to Canada in the early 1900s. And my grandparents came to this country with little money in their pockets, but with big dreams for a better future for their children and grandchildren. And how pleased and proud they would be to see that we made the most of the opportunities that were afforded to us here in Canada, living in a country where we were able to pursue our dreams and our goals. And now you too will now share that same opportunity as Canadians, where your children and grandchildren can become whatever they want to be as they avail themselves of the privileges and the freedoms that we all share as Canadians. Be proud of your new country. It's a great country. Many of you have traveled to make a new home in Canada. It meant adapting to a new culture, a new climate, and for most of you, a new language. Joining the Canadian story, one that you're now quite familiar with after having studied the book Discover Canada and passing your citizenship test. You've learned about the Canadian symbols like the crown, the flag, the coat of arms, and our motto, from sea to sea. Being Canadian means sharing a common set of values, having rights and responsibilities, such as being a full member of Canadian society and undertaking the responsibility to obey Canadian laws. And as a Canadian citizen, you live in a democratic country where individual rights and freedoms are respected. Thousands of brave Canadians have fought and died for these freedoms and these rights, and the commitment to Canada of our men and women in uniform should never, ever go unrecognized. And today, accordingly, we have with us Mr. Ken Griffith. I'd like to ask Ken to stand, please. Just a short note about Ken. He joined the Royal Canadian Regiment at the age of 19, and he served in Korea on the front lines as a Lance Corporal and a section leader from 1952 to August of 1953. After the war, Ken returned to Hamilton to work at the FASCO and retired in 1991 after 35 years of service. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to have you join with me to acknowledge and thank Ken for his service to Canada. And as Canadians, we have the right to vote and to run as candidates in municipal, provincial, and federal elections. It is your responsibility to find out about the issues in each election and to vote for the candidate of your choice. You are free to live and to work in any province or territory. And I suggest you take responsibility for yourself and your family. Certainly get involved in your community by becoming a volunteer. It's fun and it's very rewarding. And these are responsibilities that we all share and we must act upon. The future of Canada, our freedom, our democracy, our peaceful society, equality under the law, our prosperity. The future of all these things now depends on you. As the great Canadian soldier poet Dr. John McCrae wrote, "To you we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high." In reflection, 2012 was a great year for celebration in Canada as we marked the beginning of the 200th anniversary of the War of 1812. And this 3-year commemorative period is a perfect opportunity to pay tribute to our founders and the critical events that helped shape Canada as we know it today. The Government of Canada recognizes the War of 1812 as a defining moment in the history of our nation. Had the American invasion been successful, Canada would not exist. Prime Minister Stephen Harper describes the war as the event that determined which flag that we salute today as Canadian citizens. The heroic efforts of our brave ancestors who fought against enormous odds to find the origins of Canada, an independent and free country united under the Crown with a strong respect for linguistic and ethnic diversity. The second verse of Alexander Muir's song, The Maple Leaf Forever, highlights the Canadian heroism in the War of 1812 and demonstrates the overwhelming Canadian pride that you will now share with all citizens of this great country. And as residents of the Haldimand County, we can take extra pride in recognizing that many of the famous battles that we are commemorating took place in our communities and in some cases, our very neighborhoods. There are stone cairns and commemorative plaques to acknowledge the sites of many of these battles. For many of you, the next 2 years will be very exciting as you learn more about the events that took place 200 years ago. And I encourage you to attend and to participate in the many events that the Government of Canada and our regional and municipal councils have planned to commemorate these special historic milestones. And today, ladies and gentlemen, is Canada Day. July 1st marks the anniversary of the founding of our country in 1867. This year, Canada celebrates its 146th birthday. On this very special day, our national holiday, Canadians from coast to coast are coming together to celebrate all that we have in common and all that it means to be a Canadian. Canada Day is a time to celebrate our heritage, immortalized by authors and artists, to rejoice in the discoveries of our scientific researchers, and to celebrate the successes of our entrepreneurs and to commemorate our history. I invite each of you to enjoy this, your first day, as a Canadian citizen. Head out and take part in the many festivities that are being held in your community and celebrate the pride that we all share as Canadians. And finally, in 2012, Queen Elizabeth II, our sovereign head of state, has celebrated her Diamond Jubilee. And for over 60 years now, Her Majesty has exemplified the true meaning of service through her steadfast purpose and dedication. And as you take the oath of citizenship today and pledge your allegiance to the Crown, you will become an integral part of Canada's future, which is rooted in centuries-old principles and a strong relationship between Canada and the Crown. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Judge Celsi will now administer the oath of citizenship. Please rise, raise your right hand, and repeat the oath after me. Please all rise.
To Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada, her heirs and successors, and that I will faithfully observe the laws of Canada and fulfill my duties as a Canadian citizen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in recognition that Canada is a bilingual country, I would like to invite those who wish to do so to repeat the French version of the oath of citizenship after me. This symbolic gesture exemplifies your commitment to respecting Canada's 2 official languages. Je jure que je serai fidèle et porterai sincère allégeance à Sa Majesté la Reine Elizabeth II, Reine du Canada, à ses héritiers et successeurs, que j'observerai fidèlement le droit du Canada et que Je rentrerai loyalement mes obligations du citoyen canadien. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen.
Sir, when people will pass by, we need to stand somewhere else.
Okay, sure.
Just so that you have, like, you can go to the center. Yeah.
Yeah, you're actually too late. Oh, it's already been taken. You'll have to use the kettle for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to take pictures, and if you wanted to take a picture later on after the ceremony, we'll be available to do that as well. So don't worry about the ceremony. During the ceremony, if you wish to have a picture taken, we'll take the time.
Well, it's, yeah, come and see us at the end. We'll see what we can do. Because you were here for the Polish citizenship, we're actually giving certificates. Yeah, we usually no provision on file, and you're not just taking the oath of citizenship. Thank you. Congratulations. Here saying that there's no provision on file, and here that you're taking the oath of citizenship. Only signature here, seeing that there's no prohibition on file, and here that you have taken the vote of citizenship. Congratulations. Haifa. Yes. So I'm just signature here, there's no prohibition on file, and here that you have taken the vote of citizenship.
Meaning raising our voices, and we go out and we sing all over the place. We've done a Johnny Reed video not long ago. Come on, guys. And we go to lots of nursing homes in our community on reserve and off reserve, so we're glad to sing for you today. Okay, let's come right over.
Raising
Welcoming song, just to let you know that we all love each other and we appreciate each other and glad to be neighbors. Okay, so let's do a song and touch the roar. 1, 2, 3. Aye, 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 oh. Grandmother Moon, and we'll see you in the community.
Grandmother Moon protects us. She lives in the sky. She helps us see in the night. She looks over the people, the animals, and all life is an important part of our culture. That's why we thank Grandmother Moon in our Thanksgiving address. Thank you.
Never go wrong now. I just, on behalf of the county, wanted to welcome all of you, your families, and congratulate you for being here. Unfortunately, we had to move from what said, I encourage you to share sort of the same passion and ideas that we have here living in this country. And what's great about Canada is not just the resources, but the people. It's the people that make it so great. We're built on a people of givers, and we are full of giving, and you'll see that if you're able to get down to the park. To say we just enjoyed a redefinition of that park based on a lot of people and the volunteers. So I want to say thank you, welcome, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Our next special guest, Mr. Tony Alexander, he's the president of the Chamber of Commerce. He'd like to say a few words.
Judge Sashi, Mayor Hewitt, Councilor Grimes, and the chairs of the Canada Committee, which is Mary Taylor, and fellow Canadians. Well, I'd like to give thanks really to the Citizenship Committee for making this available to this beautiful town of ours. And as the mayor once said a moment ago, it truly is a fantastic place. So we invite you to come back and visit. If you're living elsewhere, please do so. Bring your family. We will embrace you. Just come to this place. And what an amazing day this is. I mean, this is an amazing place, a magnificent country, and an event that is being celebrated both for welcoming you here as citizens today and for celebrating the birth of our country 146 years ago. So on behalf of the citizens of Caledonia and Halton County, I'd like to extend a hearty welcome to everyone here in attendance, and particularly to you, our new fellow Canadians. We all share in the joy and the triumph of becoming Canadians today, for it is indeed a very special day. As we celebrate the birth of our nation, the greatest country on earth, for you who have chosen to become Canadians for Canada, which has adopted you and you have adopted us, we again welcome you and offer our congratulations.
I want to see all these flags. You live in the greatest country in the world. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I got this strict information from my son. He was on duty in Cyprus during the Cyprus conflict, and he all the native countries in that area. And when he come home, he said, "Dad, first thing, we live in the best country in the world."
I think, as the judge mentioned, volunteering in your, and everyone sitting up here is a volunteer and doing this freely, and it gives us just a great thrill to have something like this happen and to see your faces and to know how proud we are for you. So please, congratulations. I know you can't see the park right now, but maybe go down to the park later on today or next year on Canada Day. Come on out for the whole day. We have a wonderful day for you. It's all free. And finally, I'd like to thank Mary Taylor for running such an awesome organization as today. Well done, Mary. That was wonderful. To you all, félicitations or congratulations.
Your Honor, distinguished guests, and Canadian citizens. What an amazing day it is for you. Not only you, but for Caledonia and for Canada. It has been an absolute honor and a privilege to be part of planning this special day for you. I've gotten to know and become friends with a lot of people in town as we worked together to figure out the day. I'm very grateful for that. It was a real pleasure to watch our committee work together to problem solve and to figure things out. And I really believe that this togetherness is a perfect example of Canada and our culture.
They accommodated us very quickly, and we apologize for that. We have no control of the weather. But I'd like to take a moment to ask Ted and Mary to come forward, please, if I may. And on behalf of CIC Hamilton, my pleasure to present you, Mary, you can cry tomorrow. Present you a certificate of recognition. Again, thank you for your efforts on our Canada Day special celebrations here in Caledonia. So thank you very much on behalf of all the attendees. Thank all of our speakers, in particular his worship, who took time to be with us. I know he has a very busy day. Thank you very much, Tony, our veteran again, and of course, Mr. Council, thank you so much for being here. I'd like to take a moment, if I may, to acknowledge a few people. To Staff Sergeant Carl Butler of the Ontario Provincial Police, the Haldimand County Detachment, thank you, sir, for your presence here today. We thank all of our law enforcement agencies for keeping our community safe. And also special thanks to the clerk of our ceremony, Mrs. Judy Lee Wu. Thank you, Madam Clerk. And our signing clerk, Mr. Jean-Simon Cantin. Jean-Simon, thank you, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, we dropped it. Oh, just put it in the garbage, just so nobody steps in it.